Assalamu alaikum everyone, this is me Hania, commerce study student at Rehan School on Academy Budget. So today we have Maya with us. So hi Maya, how are you?
Walaikum assalam, honey. It's great to be back. I'm doing awesome, and I'm ready for whatever questions you've got for me today.
Okay, so our data topic is Shhh. So my first question is, what comes to your mind when you hear the word Shh?
What comes to mind? Honestly, um, librarian with a very strict expression, or maybe someone trying to keep a secret during a movie. It's such a tiny sound. It basically tells you that whatever is happening right now is more important than whatever you were about to say.
Okay, why do you think humans created a simple sound like Shh to ask for silence?
I think it's because shh acts like a physical wall of sound. It's an instinctive universal signal that cuts through the noise faster than any full sentence ever could. If someone had to say, "Excuse me, please be quiet," the moment they're trying to protect would already be gone. It's all about speed and efficiency.
Okay, is Shh
I'd
just a sound or does it carry a deeper meaning?
say it's both. It's a sound, but it's essentially a social tool. Depending on who's saying it and how they're saying it, it can be a gentle reminder to be quiet, a sharp warning to stop talking, or even a playful way to share a secret. It's the delivery that gives it the meaning.
Okay. Why do you think this small word is understood by people around the world?
I think it's because it's based on the actual physical act of trying to stop noise. It mimics a rushing wind that pushes sound away, which feels instinctive to the human ear. It's a sound we've all heard and learned from practically since we were toddlers.
Okay. Are there similar quiet commands in different languages and cultures?
Yeah, there are, but the sounds vary depending on how different cultures approach silence. In some Spanish speaking countries, you'll often hear shh, just like here, but it's usually paired with a finger to the lips to drive the point home. In Japan, you're more likely to hear shizuka ni, which is a more formal request for quiet. It's wild how some cultures use a sharp sound to stop a conversation, while others use a soft phrase to blend into the silence.
Okay. Why do you think humans
And
use
then
sound instead of words when asking for silence?
it's a bit of a paradox, right? Using a sound to ask for no sound is funny, but I think it's because shh doesn't just ask for silence, it actually creates it. It's a visceral command that bypasses the part of your brain that processes language and goes straight to your instincts. If you use words, you're adding to the noise you're trying to stop, but a sound like shh just cuts right through.
Okay. How has the meaning
I'm
of
still
changed over time?
I think you mean how does the meaning change based on how it's said?
No, I
Totally.
mean, how has the meaning of changed over time?
Hmm. The meaning change order? I'm not sure I follow what you mean. Could you explain a bit more?
I was asking, how has the meaning of changed over time?
I'm honestly a little stumped. Is this a term from your e-commerce studies? Let me
Okay, just
make
give
sure
it.
what you mean by change.
Just like
My bad. I think I just missed the mark on that one.
okay.
Haha, we're good. I'm ready when you are.
Mm.
Go for it.
Was always considered polite, or has it someone been seen as rude? Sometimes been seen as rude.
It's definitely a double-edged sword. It's pretty rare to see shh as purely polite. Most of the time, it's felt as a bit of a power move because you're essentially telling someone their voice isn't welcome in that moment. But that said, there are times where it's a kindness, like when you're tipping someone off that a surprise is about to happen and you don't want to spoil it. It's all about whether the person feels silenced or protected.
Okay, why do you think silence became important in places like libraries, schools, and religious places?
I think it's because these places are essentially islands of focus in a noisy world. In a library or a school, silence creates a shared boundary that protects everyone's ability to think or study. When you're in a religious space, silence shifts from being a practical tool for concentration to a spiritual one. It's less about following a rule and more about creating a void where you can actually hear your own thoughts or feel something deeper. Basically, the silence becomes a signal that you've entered a zone where the regular noise of the outside world isn't allowed to follow you.
Okay, why does hearing
You're on a roll.
immediately make people lower their voices?
I think your transcription might have had a little brain fart, and I'm guessing you meant again instead of syringe. And since you said we're in the zone, it's probably a bit of social programming. We've been conditioned since childhood to associate that sound with a teacher or a parent. So your brain just hits the mute button automatically. It's like a Pavlovian response where the sound itself becomes the command.
Okay, can silence be a form of communication?
100%. Some of the most honest things people ever say happen when they don't say anything at all. Like that heavy silence after a big fight where you both know you're wrong, or that comfortable quiet between best friends where you don't feel the need to fill the air. Sometimes the thing you choose not to say is the most important part of the conversation.
Okay, what happens in our brain when we hear a command for silence?
I'm guessing you mean our brain? When you hear that command, your brain basically treats it like a priority alert. It overrides whatever you're currently doing and triggers an immediate social reflex, signaling you to match the expected behavior of the room. It's a quick mental shift from expressing yourself to observing your environment.
Okay, why can silence sometimes feel peaceful and sometimes uncomfortable?
It's a total coin toss. When you're in the zone, it's peaceful, but if you're not, it's awkward.
Do you think people today are losing the ability to enjoy silence?
I think it's becoming a bit of a lost art. Most of us have this instinctive urge to fill every single gap in a conversation, usually by reaching for a phone the second there's a lull. It's like we've forgotten how to just sit with our own thoughts without some kind of digital noise to distract us.
Okay, how does constant noise affect our focus and mental peace?
It's kind of like trying to read a book while someone's shouting in your ear. Your brain has to work overtime just to filter out the junk, which means you're burning through your mental energy way faster. Eventually, that noise starts to feel like a background hum of stress, making it almost impossible to actually find a moment of real peace.
Okay, how is used differently in different cultures?
It varies a ton. Some cultures see silence as a sign of respect or thoughtful listening, while in others, a long gap in conversation can feel like a red flag or a sign of tension. For example, in Japan, silence in a conversation is often used to process what the other person said and show you're actually weighing their words. In more Western cultures, we tend to rush in to fill those gaps. Otherwise, it starts to feel awkward. It's a total flip on how silence is interpreted.
Okay, is telling someone a way of controlling them or showing respect?
It's a thin line. In a library, it's respect for others, but in an argument, it can feel like a way to shut someone down. It all depends on the intent behind the sound.
Okay, why is silence considered powerful in some situations?
It's because silence is the only thing in a conversation that you can't argue with. It forces the other person to sit with their own thoughts. And in a lot of cases, people will keep talking just to get rid of that tension, often revealing way more than they ever intended to. It's like the ultimate conversational chess move.
Okay, how do parents and teachers use differently?
Parents usually have this kind of instinctual don't make me say it twice energy, whereas teachers are more about managing a whole room of chaos. A parent might use a "Shh" as a quick warning that they're reaching their limit, but a teacher uses it like a conductor signal G that it's time for everyone to shift gears and focus.
Okay, there are some rapid fire questions. So are you ready?
Wait, are we talking about a webinar for a class?
Rapid fire
Unity sounds like
questions.
I'm trying to keep up. What are you thinking about?
Rapid fire questions.
Fry costumes. Now, I'm curious, are these for a specific project or just for the fun of it?
Okay, just leave it.
I mean, who can argue with wearing a fry costume? It's a bold fashion choice. You'll have to tell me where this is coming from.
Why do you think can express different emotions like anger, care, excitement, or yeah?
Oh, we're back to it's all in the timing and the tone. Shh. A sharp, quick sound usually means stop right now, but a soft, drawn out it can be sweet, almost like a lullaby. And there's that playful one where you're leaning in to tell a secret, which is basically the conversational equivalent of a wink. It's amazing how one sound can go from get out to come closer just by shifting the energy.
Okay. Can the same sound have different meanings depending on the situation and tone?
I'd say it's all about the environment you're in. If you're at a movie theater, it's a social tool to keep things peaceful. But if you're whispering a secret to a friend, it's actually a way to pull them closer and create a shared moment. The meaning completely flips based on the scene.
Okay. Is a
That's the
command
beauty
a
of it.
request or a form of social behavior?
Yeah, it's all of those things. It's a command in the classroom, a request in a library, and on social media, it's usually a signal for a secret, a trend, or a teaser for something about to drop.
What feelings do
Exactly.
people usually experience when someone says shh to them?
It's usually an immediate hit of something. In a movie theater, it's a an annoyance. In a library, it's a polite reminder. But if it's coming from a parent or teacher, it can feel like a sudden drop in temperature. I've noticed that. The feeling depends on whether you feel like you're being helped or silenced.
Why do children often respond quickly when they hear shh?
I think you might have meant respond instead of spawn. Children are like emotional sponges, right? They don't have all the mental tools yet to filter out a harsh tone. So it hits them like a ton of bricks, making them shut down or react instantly.
Okay. Why does a simple
Uh-huh.
sound sometimes feel more powerful than a full sentence?
It's that primitive lizard brain reflex. When someone says, shh, it's not a suggestion to be weighed, it's a directive. It's the difference between a friendly sign that says, please quiet, and a buzzer going off in a game show. One is an invitation to change behavior, the other is a signal that the time for talking has officially ended.
Okay. Why do you think shh exists in many languages around the world?
It's probably just biology. Shushing is basically just a way to mimic the sound of wind or a rush of air, which is a universal way of pushing sound away. Since our mouths and tongues are built the same way, regardless of the language we speak, that's the most efficient sound humans can make to cut through noise. It's less about grammar and more about the physics of how we're wired.
Okay. Art sounds like shh and wow a type of universal language.
They kind of are. Those aren't even words, they're more like acoustic shortcuts for the human experience. It's wild how we've developed this parallel language that doesn't need a dictionary to work.
Okay.